Hi YouTube, welcome to our new channel. What is it called again? A View of Two. The View of Two. And can you do us a favor? We'd like to grow this, and if you like our content, just subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you're informed of when we're going to be releasing some new material.
Yeah.
So what the point of today is to introduce ourselves, to let you know who we are. Other than the heavens, I just hit the other than the fact that we're a black woman and a white man having a chat about things. Firstly, my name is Hiram, and originally from Rhodesia, or now Zimbabwe, and was born there in 1973 and moved to South Africa in 1975. So I'm basically South African. Raised in a little town called Pinetown, just outside of Durban, and spent my whole life till about 18 there. Went through the conscribed military and even served a mission for my church, and studied and what did I study? Of course, it was advertising and graphic design at Natal Tech, or now DUT, or
yes.
DUT. Yeah, you see, I don't know the new terms. Yeah, so and have lived my whole life in Africa. My generations go back to Europe, but they all came here in the 1700s from Holland and from Scotland.
You've been killing us ever since.
Well, I can blame the English for having done it to me too. So yeah, we and a little more recently, Non and I met. This is Nontuthuko Mzolo, and we met about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Through the church. I used to be an LDS or a Mormon, and Non still is.
Still.
And we met through the church, and it was sort of just very briefly met each other, and then about. Well, I can leave the story up to you. But,
no, you can finish it.
Okay. I did advertising work for Non, her new business venture, Mbongela.
Yes.
And we found that we had a good vibe. We got to be able to speak to each other openly about things, and I think it's resulted in a good cohesive sort of chemistry.
Yeah. All right. So my name, he calls me Non. It's Nontuthuko, actually. But for those of you who can't pronounce Nontuthuko, Non is fine. Nontuthuko Mzolo. I'm also from Durban. I am a South African.
From where? Durban or Durban?
I said Durban.
I thought you said Durban.
No. I'm from Durban. I've been Claremont, to be exact. That's where my family comes from. Although if you trace it back, my mom comes from Escort. As you know, black people like to trace back to their farmlands before the white people did things. So
I wasn't around.
So anyway, although I would say I come from Claremont, that's my township, I've been in boarding school all my life, and so that's been a very interesting identifier for me. I went to primary school in Ishawi, in a school called Holy Childhood Convent School. I was Catholic for a very long time, happily so, and then I was happily so. And then two guys introduced themselves and introduced the church, and in 2000 I became a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
LDS.
Well, yeah, but we'd like people to now recognize us.
What does it change to now?
The church, like
the church.
Name. Yeah, we just call ourselves the church every now and then.
Just checking. It's changed so often.
Whatever. So I studied at UKZN. I did economics. I'd like to give a shout out to my professor, Professor Jones, who is still waiting for my master's thesis. It will eventually get there. Why I agreed to Hiram and I doing this podcast is we do have a good chemistry. And we talk about things that I think would be great for South Africans to talk about across the racial lines. You know, we don't only talk about racial stuff, but it is nice to be able to feel free to be like, why do white people do what white people do, and not feel like you're going to be judged or somebody's going to be in their feelings. As black people know, they won't be in their studio, as we like to say every now and then. And it's nice for a white person to be able to ask a black person, like, why do black people do that? But besides the obvious racial stuff, I also like the fact that we're male and female, that we come from slightly different generations and slightly different backgrounds. And so we're hoping that you guys will enjoy the conversations we have in his BMW. He didn't want to put that in there. I thought it was a cool name, ViewOf2 in a BMW. He doesn't want to. And so you don't.
Am I going to be jacked for white privilege?
Yes. Deal with it. So yeah, we're going to have some conversations and we hope you guys can join us, and feel free to comment and say things that you think we should have perhaps touched on, or things you'd like us to talk about.
You see, Non, it's not that bad. I tried to introduce Non to this idea about a year ago.
We don't need to go into the details.
We do. And luckily, a friend of hers got her to do a podcast.
Hey.
And she's softened to the idea.
Yes.
So
how about we just enjoy the fact that I've softened to the idea?
You've softened to the idea.
Okay.
So here we go. This journey begins. We look forward to what comes of it. And I'm hitting this mic every 5 seconds. So, let us know what you think in the comments below. Please remember to subscribe, bell notification, book.